Hello everybody, welcome to a Sunday night stream, the first one I've ever done. We had some technical difficulties, so apologies that we're
Not
late.
my fault for once.
We've still got my test up as well on the screen. We'll go to Ross is here, he did his own test. Ross, I don't know if you saw, I've made you a moderator, so you are in charge. Hello everyone, thank you for joining. I'm joined by Az. And it was touch and go, wasn't it, about whether or not you were going to be in? Because we've had very different game weeks.
I've had another shocker. And when that Aston Villa West Ham game ended, I was not in a good place, was I?
We had to have a pep talk about the fact that you do have game weeks like this in FPL. So let me know in the comments how you're doing so far this game week. You can see on the screen, I've got 65 points to go. I've got 65 points, and I've still got Destiny, Madison.
I've got 67 on the screen.
Oh, my bonus.
Oh, your bonus. There's always more, isn't there?
They just keep coming.
Always more.
How are you doing so far, or do you not want to talk about it?
I'm on 49, which, I mean, isn't horrendous.
Yeah.
But it feels horrendous. It's another one where you, like, judge yourself against everyone else.
You've had a lot of 50-50 decisions that have just not gone your way.
I mean, I've got... tonight was a perfect example. I've got Diaby and Ward-Prowse and Cash. You know, 3 players going into that game. And it's Watkins and Bowen that haul.
Yeah.
And Douglas Luiz, who looks a good pick.
It's it's tough. We've got Delia in the chat, my favourite
Of course.
duo.
Have you made her a mod yet?
No, but this is where everyone's going to have to see my behind the scenes live streaming. So I'm going to have to click on it, aren't I?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, I'm sorry, because this is going to become professional. Delia, I'm making you a mod because you are queen of the mods.
Put in time out. I'll teach her a lesson.
Do I do managing? Managing or standard?
I don't know. Whatever.
We're in. There was the behind the scenes footage. Thank you for joining, Delia. I hated the Aston Villa West Ham game points wise. Interesting. How did you get on? Let us know.
So bad.
So we're going to talk about the highlight of my game week.
Why am I doing this with you?
The absolute thrill that hasn't benefited my team at all.
Oh yeah. Okay, we can talk about this.
Thank you for bringing this up. The McGinn assist. Now, we had a struggle yesterday. We were having a great day, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Az turns to me and he went, someone needs to tell you this. McGinn is a terrible asset to have and you shouldn't have him in your team.
Well, there was a bit more context.
There was nothing. It was out of the blue. I just bought him a present. No, I hadn't.
You forgot the present. No, there was a little bit more context. You were saying how great Gordon was and you were worried about benching McGinn this week. And you were going to play McGinn, and I was like...
Actually, no, in your defence, you told me to play McGinn.
I did.
It went a bit wild, because we had, I think Thursday night, you were saying you have to play McGinn. And I was like, I can't, I have to play Gordon. And then, then you suddenly turned on McGinn.
Not necessarily to say that McGinn is a great player. I just knew how happy you'd be if he got
in this
something.
Villa game, I cannot explain. It would be like, John McGinn's got the ball, and then he just fell over.
Yeah, it happened like 3 times.
I love that man so
Salah's
much.
right, though. Gordon did better than McGinn, so you got that call right.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. I thought I had quite a weak bench going into this game week, and I thought benching decisions would be really easy. But when we come to my team selection plans for the next game week, McGinn has thrown a spanner in the works because he was looking quite decent. Charlie's in the chat. John McGinn can do no wrong. Charlie's been sending me some John McGinn highlights. And there was one, it was actually quite emotional. I watched it yesterday. I don't know if I showed you. That was
an emotional John McGinn highlight. What did he do? Was it better than him falling over 3 times today?
McGinn to win. That is why I don't think anyone is going to be searching McGinn in FPL, but McGinn is in the title for tonight's stream.
Oh, Delia had the same players as me tonight.
Same assets as Az.
Yeah.
Oh,
We suck, Delia. They suck.
It's tough. We've got Solanke transfer was worth it. Yes, it was. So let's just touch on the team. Turner, that Forest game yesterday, so close to a clean sheet. We need like a bingo sheet for things that I say. Forest at home, unstoppable. And I thought a Luton home fixture, there was no way they were going to score against Forest. And then the equalising, it was so disappointing. Similar to the Chelsea game. We've had a lot of disappointment this weekend. So the Turner clean sheet, unfortunately,
You
got
don't
one
know
wiped out.
disappointment, so you've seen Ward-Prowse and Diaby play.
I thought you were going to say seen Brighton get thrashed by Villa and...
and Everton. To be fair, we did all right against City in the end. I don't really know how with Milner at right back, but...
Yeah.
Up the fight.
And then we've got Burn. We've got the Newcastle clean sheet. Beautiful news. Nothing much from Matty Cash, but I think I can never ever bench him ever again after what has happened to me in previous game weeks.
You've got more than your other defenders.
Yeah, this is true. And then we've got Destiny still to go. Gordon, first game back after suspension, gets a goal. Absolutely thrilled with that decision. Maddison still to go. Salah, captaincy. It's driving me mad. I've had 2 weeks now where I'm like, I've done well, but I could have done so much better if I'd have captained Salah.
I'm not giving you any sympathy. You got 67 points.
Please, everyone. It's such a small green arrow.
It's interesting with Salah, isn't it? Because we keep backing Haaland, and obviously there's I mean, Ross is in the chat, and he's obviously hasn't got Haaland at all, and a few people haven't. And
it's the jammiest Ross thing.
Yeah.
Of course, Ross takes out Haaland, and then we don't need him.
Yeah, but it's working well, right? Because Salah is covering the points, and I think the people who took Haaland out were worried about this game against Brighton. They got through that. Salah passed that test, more than passed that test.
Yeah.
And then it's Bournemouth in a few weeks, but the experiment has started quite well, and we're not captaining Salah because we've got Haaland and we're losing points.
I mean, it's interesting because if I never considered going without Haaland, I thought it was too much of a risk, and I still stand by that. I think there's going to be a game week where he is going to get an absolute monster haul. But if I didn't have Haaland, I'd probably have Trippier, and that's kind of both of us are being scorned by that. But Salah, 16 points, still his ownership. What are we at now? We're at 38.
It's still quite low, isn't it?
Yeah, so any points are still benefiting us, and obviously not everyone's captaining him, so it's still
Blanked
good to
in
have.
one game, same as Watkins.
Ridiculous. Son's still to go. Watkins, I mean...
He's killing me.
We've got some support for you in the chat as I have no Watkins. I know. The thing is with Watkins, I was so close to transferring him out. He was one of my key players last season, and then I saw Diaby was the one getting the goals, and it seemed like Watkins was just getting assists. But Watkins, he's had 1 week where he's blanked so far. Yeah. And then like today, just comes out of nowhere. And I think I would never have thought that Watkins was going to be essential on a team. But I'm actually now, I can't imagine myself taking him out. I mean, if we look at their upcoming fixtures as well.
They're so nice.
They're so nice. We've got Luton, we've got Forest, we've got Fulham. Even Spurs, I see them scoring. Bournemouth. And the way they're going, potentially like City won't be too much of an issue.
I think what's really telling with Watkins is they're doing these interviews with him after the match. And they're saying, you're playing really well and all that. And he's like, yeah, I'm staying central and I'm letting the wide players go out. They're creating a space for me to run into to get into the goal scoring areas. And that's the problem with Diaby. He's playing quite wide. He's drifting out wide. He's very much the creator. They all seem to be built to get Watkins goals.
Yeah.
And that's what you want in your team.
No, he's honestly
killing me.
Stepped up so much.
Him and bloody Trippier.
Solanke got a goal. I was having the journey from hell. If anyone was around King's Cross yesterday, you will know it was chaos. It took me 2.5 hours to do a 1 hour journey. And I had my bag, I had Ralph, I was sweating, I was warm, it was horrible. And then I got a signal, Solanke scored. Suddenly, everything was great. I was, like in films where they wake up in a really good mood and they're like walking along to imaginary music.
The opposite of how I felt today.
Yeah, exactly. That was me. So I'm really pleased that the Solanke punt has paid off. Again, his ownership, 2.9%. That was quite a risky one. And I'm glad I stuck
2.9%. I mean, that's a great shout.
Yeah, and then they've got Burnley at home coming up, and then I think I will transfer him out because City, Newcastle, Sheffield would be a nice one, but for 6.4 million I can downgrade him, then upgrade elsewhere. And then Haaland, decent. We got a goal. Was expecting more, and I did say to you, I'm really sorry, but I hope he absolutely annihilates Brighton.
Yeah. I captained him as a Brighton fan, so I clearly thought he was gonna do more than he did. I mean. Yeah, are you going to stop captaining him?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
Yes. We'll go into the team selection for game week 10. And then we're just going to touch on McGinn again because 1 assist, stunning, 0.7% ownership. Where is everyone? Hopefully after this stream, that'll get up to 1%.
You were talking about selling him yesterday. No, look at this.
Not publicly. What have we got? Hashtag no Haaland movement. Very, very brave. I'm a bit just frustrated with Diaby last couple of weeks.
You need to move that.
I'm off.
Try moving that up on.
This?
Oh, that did nothing.
It's done nothing. We've got half the comment. He's effectively playing as a striker, should be scoring more. I do agree with this. You've still got Diaby, haven't you?
I do.
What's your plan going forward?
I'm just sick of him, to be honest.
It's hard though, because it's going to be like Mbeumo. Everyone gets rid of him, and then suddenly he's back, raring to go.
He's had one. I mean, get the RB up on the screen because I think he's had one big game, isn't he? That was against Burnley.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, I mean, if you look at his underlying stats, they're not that bad. I don't know why that chat thing's doing that, by the way.
I know.
That's
Let's
weird.
bring up a
Smaller
smaller
one.
Got 11. Nice.
Hello,
We were saying this, weren't we?
That is a wild shout.
People were bringing him in.
It makes no sense to me why you would own Dallo.
No,
like,
absolutely
none.
What are we looking at?
So one double-digit haul. That was against Burnley.
I mean, the opening game week, 7 points.
7 and 8.
That's when everyone started to get on him. 12, and then it's the classic transfer him in, and everything goes downhill.
The issue is that I think Douglas Luiz with the pens is a great pick, and he's cheaper, and Watkins is just far superior. So you're not going to sell DRB ahead of Luton at home. I wouldn't advise doing that, but I don't know. I think he's just not performing. He's so good. He's a great player. He's really quick. He makes Villa a better team. But purely for FPL wise, I'm not totally convinced he's the man.
It's really tough when there are so many other options coming up. If we restore John McGinn, of course, we have got. I saw a good question. What's your advice? Would you be making a Son Saka transfer for next game week? So this has been my plan since probably last game week. I think it depends on how Son gets on tomorrow, but I've got so many concerns about him at the moment. He's coming off early. He's just not looking fit, is he? He keeps getting knocks. You were saying Spurs are playing Monday night, then they play the early fixture. They play Friday. Yeah. It's a really quick turnaround, and a very, very good point as made on Black Box is that.
Whoa.
I know. I said I was going to steal this. If you weren't here, I'd take full credit. I'd be like, I have noticed. But if Son's coming off at 70 minutes, now that we've got the added time, that's 30 minutes of game time that you're missing out on. And actually, you could go for someone else. And, as this says, Saka, I think I am going to do the Saka move. I think it's a no-brainer. I took him out on the wild card because he was injured. But it's still, that gives me 0.9 million in the bank. And I've got 2 free transfers this week. But we were weighing up for you, weren't we? Whether to do Watkins or bringing in Saka.
I can only get one. I can only get Saka or Watkins this week.
It's hard. It's really tough. But I think Arsenal's form at the moment is so good. And Sheffield United at home, surely. And then Burnley, I mean, Newcastle away, trickier. But Burnley at home, if I bring in Saka, I don't know when I'd get rid of him. I think I'd just have him for the rest of the season, like injury permitting. Because there's not really too much that Arsenal are going to struggle against. No,
I know. The issue is selling Son, right? Because, I mean, you've made a good case for selling him, but he is still playing up front for one of the top scoring teams in the league at the moment. So there's risk with it. I mean, Saka hasn't really got the pens, has he? Because he keeps giving them away to other people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think Saka and Son are both good options. Saka's nearly $1 million cheaper now as well. And I just don't want to... Like Sheffield United at home, that's the best fixture.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the moment, by some distance. So going in with no Arsenal attackers.
Oh, it's frightening. And when I put together my wild card, I said my biggest fear was not having any Arsenal assets. I don't even have defenders. And I think Saka's one of my favourite assets to have in the game anyway. And Son, I wasn't that keen on bringing him in. And so far, since I've had him, it's been fine.
If you get Son up and look at his points... They're a little bit. I mean, since the Arsenal game, I mean, you know, I know he's had 2 big hauls, but you look at his other points. You know, it's 3 blanks, and then he was moved up front for Burnley.
Yeah.
But then it's still 2 blanks in 4, a goal against Liverpool, a big haul against Arsenal. It's a bit of a mixed.
And if we look at the minutes, 75 minutes, 68, that's 78, it. 79. I think Maddison, at least he is getting assists.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot more consistency with him. Whereas with Son, I feel as though I get worried doubling up on players from teams anyway, because I think you can go all in, unless it's John McGinn and Ollie Watkins, then you've got a winner. But I feel like you can go all in and then they have a terrible game and you're done. So I think as long as I've got that Maddison coverage, we've got Niall says, hi Niall, it's a close one, but Saka wins it for me. Yeah, I think so. It's a really tough. Interestingly, I was talking about Jesus, wasn't I? And I said,
you said you wished he was good.
Yeah, basically. He's one of, I think last season, I had him at the start and then he went off injured, didn't he? Again, amazing asset. And if he was good, it would solve all of my problems because I would love to have him in the front 3. I'd easily downgrade anyone in the midfield. But there's just not really too much coming from him. So in terms of upcoming... Oh, Charlie said, I kept Diaby in wildcard, but he's a good placeholder for other 6.5 million assets. Saka sound transferred or Martinelli a cheaper option. Interesting that you should suggest Martinelli because I was team Odegaard really. But it is the cheaper option and I do want to bring in Trippier.
Let me try and fix this.
Which is my struggle as is going tech wizard.
Trippier is... Do you think you're going to get him this week?
No, because I think I need to prioritise bringing in an Arsenal asset.
There you go.
Oh, nice. We're back. We're
Actually,
good.
we'll make it a little bit bigger. Sorry, you're all very much the guinea pigs for these streams.
Yeah, this is like when you have a driving instructor. One day I will do this alone. Although I remember my first drive after I passed my test, I reversed into a pole in Tesco car park. So
Did you? Wow.
God knows how this solo live stream will go.
We've got 50 people watching, by the way. I just checked.
Oh, amazing. Thank you all for watching. This is a question I asked you earlier because you have got Alvarez. Would you move Alvarez to Watkins next game week? I said yes. I don't have him. I haven't been on the Alvarez hype so far, so I just haven't had that inclination to have him in. I've had Watkins the whole time, and I think Watkins is the better asset. But you are disagreeing.
Well, my team is awful, right? Every one of them. They're
not. Your team is
They're all
fine.
useless to me. The one player who I cannot find any fault with is Alvarez. He is. If I was to pick a player for the wall right now, it's slim pickings. But Alvarez would be...
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And for me, selling Alvarez is a luxury move that is not even on my radar to do. I think Watkins is a great pick. I think he's a good captain option even this week. But I just think Alvarez is doing so well. Why would you lose him?
Yeah.
Manchester United next. They're not going to be able to keep him out. Bournemouth at home week after.
Yeah, it's a tricky. I can just can't you imagine now that you've said that Alvarez benched.
Of course.
Pep Deck kicks
Of
in.
course.
We've got a very.
If Bill says to bring in Watkins for Alvarez, do it.
We've got a very good point that has been made. Have they all liked the stream? I've never whipped out one of those.
Oh,
Make
let's
sure
have a
you
look.
like the stream if you're watching.
We've got 52 watching.
What is it all of you say?
You've
Feed the
got-
algorithm gods.
You've got 16 likes.
Yay!
Come on, let's get that to 50%.
Da,
Few more.
da, 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 da. No, in terms of transfers, so my option number one is what we have just discussed, Son to Saka.
Yep.
And then, to be honest, I think the team's all right. I've got 0.9 million in the bank. I could roll another transfer. Good to go. Nice, strong position for Game Week 11. 2 free transfers. However, I'd like a bit of chaos.
Oh.
So, hypothetically, if we were to upgrade Burn to Trippier,
Yeah.
which is quite the upgrade, why? Oh, of course. I need to find 2.3 million
Yep.
to pay this off.
I know where this is going, don't I?
Do you?
I can guess, but carry on.
No, go on. Let's hear your theory.
Take Son out. Let me see how much money that would give you.
Loads.
How much is Trossard?
You saw my thumbnail.
I did.
I don't think I can risk Trossard.
You can't.
I can't. I have fangirled over Trossard so much, and I think he was in all of my pre-season draft. And I stand by what I say. That man can come onto the pitch 80 minutes and score, but it's the risk that he doesn't come on or he doesn't score, which is quite key for FPL.
I mean,
I'm no expert.
he's not going to start because they've got. I mean, maybe he does start. I mean, he scored the equaliser again, didn't he? Trossard's 6'5".
And then
You're not going to do that.
0.6 million in the bank. I could buy all sorts with that. I could upgrade Gahey. I could upgrade Kabore. I'm not going to do this. Oh, Watkins is rising tonight.
Of course he is.
Oh, it's tough.
I would advise don't make any moves now. Like we've got the Champions League to play. You know, this is for a lot of clubs. This is big. You know, this is a big match. Same in Europe for Brighton as well. Like we're bottom of the group. We really need to get a win against Ajax. So I don't know. I just don't think this is the week for early transfers. Mark will disagree. He always says to do them, but
yeah, honest. I mean, I have banged on about Jensen.
oh, here we go again.
Every video I did last week.
Yep.
I don't think I'm fully convinced on Brentford's form. Jensen is impressive, but I mean, Chelsea, I can't go against Chelsea. West Ham, then Liverpool, Arsenal. It's too difficult. I could, maybe, and I think I'm going to regret this. Do you know who I'm going to pick?
Palmer?
Yep.
I'll give you loads of money.
So much money, but so that gives me 2.2 million. I, as a Chelsea fan, have said I will not bring in any more Chelsea players this season, but the man seems to be just picking up penalties like there's no tomorrow, and that gives me a lot of money to work with.
Yeah. I mean, you're in a similar boat to me then. I'm having to prioritise either Watkins or Saka, and you're prioritising either Trippier or Saka, right? So we're both here. We've both got 2 free transfers. We're both going to have one of them. I'll get it wrong. So if I go for Saka, go for Trippier, basically.
Yeah, I think that's solid advice. We've got, doesn't matter, Arteta has his faves, Trossard benched again. Is Arteta in the chat? If you are, just pop up and just...
Arteta wouldn't give you a decent answer even if he was in the chat.
Can you imagine? I mean, he's like, I saw a stream.
Yeah.
Trossard should start.
I'm going to listen to that.
By someone that just gave advice, which was like... Oh, it's quite important to score goals in FPL.
Yeah.
It's good. That's how you get the good rank.
Ankit likes the Palmer shout.
Yes, Palmer is quality. He's been our best players over the last few game weeks. Yeah, it's the double pain though. I quite enjoy it. Well, yesterday I enjoyed watching the Chelsea game until the 77th minute, and then it all went downhill. But having a Chelsea asset in my team plus Chelsea struggling sometimes, I don't know if that's going to be very useful. But then it also helps me with the benching decision. But then I've got Palmer and McGinn in midfield, and that's weakening me a bit.
Yeah, you got Palmer, McGinn, Gordon, and Solanke. It's gonna be hard to know which ones to play. I think each week.
I mean, if we pick my team for the upcoming game week, this is how I set it up before McGinn's amazing performance this afternoon. Now I feel as though I need McGinn for Luton at home. But then who am I going to bench? And then this is what makes me think I want to downgrade Son, so then I can just have someone on the bench that I'm not scared of. I mean, I can't bench Son.
Oh, we're in such a weird... We're like a Black Mirror episode where McGinn is a...
Play your own game.
Play your own game, yeah.
That's what I say.
I just love that you're basing transfers so that you can get McGinn into the starting 11.
You wait till next game week.
Oh, you're thrashing me this season, so I can't even say anything.
Brace incoming.
Oh, dear. Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, I think personally, I think Son to Saka for you is a great move.
Yeah, then I'd have to play him over McGinn.
Yeah, I don't think your team looks really good. I think Gordon's a good pick. I would bench McGinn because I just don't rate him as an FPL asset. Apologies.
Who got an assist today?
I know, and who fell over 3 times.
He's so enjoyable to watch. I love him. And then when something good happens...
You see his free kick?
Yeah.
He took his little choreographed free kick.
He's ready. I loved that. I think I cheered.
I guess the only player you can bench him over here is Gordon, right? Away at Wolves isn't that easy, and they'll be in the Champions League, but I wouldn't.
No, I think Gordon is quite similar to Trossard, but actually starts.
Yeah.
I think he can be on a pitch for 20 minutes and do good things. Blow up that pitch, as the kids would say. Is game week 10 a good time to ditch Spurs assets? I mean, it depends who you've got, really. I'm ditching Son by the sounds of things. I wouldn't get rid of Maddison, and I do like having Destiny in my team because it's a player that I don't really have to be too fussed about. I've got the very standard template defence. Everyone seems to have Newcastle defender, Cash, and then Destiny or Porro.
Same.
So I don't think I would. I am getting rid of Son, so I don't think you need triple. But the fixtures are okay, and I think it's quite nice to be able to bench Destiny. I'd probably bench him for Chelsea at home.
It's funny. I mean, it's funny how quickly things turn around. Because I would have said Crystal Palace away was a really, really tough game. I think we didn't hear earlier that they've only conceded 18 goals since Hodgson took over in March or something.
Yeah.
Then they've conceded 4 in one game against Newcastle. So I don't know. I can't see them scoring loads of goals against Palace. Chelsea are pretty good defensive. I know they capitulated a little bit, but they were much better.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be quite a tight game. Villa Wolves are much better under the new manager. Villa's tough. Then it's Man City. I don't think 2 attackers is needed. I think a lot of people are going to be dropping 1.
Yeah, I think it depends who your Spurs assets are. I definitely keep hold of Son and Maddison. I personally prefer Maddison.
Yeah.
But that's also because Sam from FPL Family raves about Maddison and she knows everything.
She does. She also loves Son. So I'm interested to know what she does. I mean, she's a bit biased.
Has she got both?
I would have thought so. I think most people do, don't they? Yeah, I'm holding on to Maddison. I love him. I'm a massive fan. And also, my team value is so rubbish that I think the extra money I save from Son was handy.
We've got Fella in the chat. Is as over
FPL
as COVID?
Fella.
I hope so. Missed you Friday.
I'd better be.
We it was quite good that Az had COVID on Friday because I hadn't invited him.
No, thanks. This is to the juice meetup, not just a date with fella. That was the next day.
I was gonna say we missed that too. Yeah, we had a great juice meetup. Actually, if you haven't subscribed to them yet, please go over to the FPL Juice YouTube account and follow them on Twitter. It's the best content on YouTube, and I don't say that lightly. I watch it every single week. They've started doing deadline streams on the Saturday. I did one a couple of weeks ago, and I'm on again, I think first weekend of November. And I saw some familiar faces and names pop up in the chat, which was really, really nice. But they've just hit 5,000 subscribers, and they are on the way to 10,000. I think this is going to be the season.
Well, they should have 100,000. They're a brilliant.
Honestly,
brilliant
the content
bunch.
is so good. It's really light-hearted. They know that. Well, Ash knows his stuff.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick has fun.
He's still beating me, Nick. I think so.
We had a pundits night out, and we played table tennis, which I was alright at. I worked up a sweat.
Yep.
And then beer pong, which I was unlucky at. There were a lot of it was jumping. It was close.
Rimmed it.
I didn't want to use that word, but yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. We've got some sessions incoming, some therapy sessions because of what happened.
Oh God, it was just. It's like I don't know why I think anything else is going to happen. But I've been excited all day. I was like, right, I've had a pretty bad week so far. But I've got 3 players in this game. All I need is for Watkins to kind of stay quiet, and he just didn't, and he absolutely killed me again. And I don't think you were even that. I know you did. I missed it, but you were streaming on Friday, and you said you were quite scared of Watkins. Yeah.
But today, the positivity, you were like, I've got 3 assets in this. Yeah. Gonna smash it. Every corner that was taken, you were like, it's gonna happen.
Ward-Prowse, this is it. And he had that little free kick, and then he hit it straight into the wall. He's been.
The struggle with this is I've had Watkins since the start, but the Brighton game where the first goal, it was a Watkins goal and a cash assist. And as you were lovely, you were like, oh, that's great for you. And then they kept coming and I couldn't celebrate. And then the same happened today. I think it was the first time I've been shouting at the TV. I was like, go
on, son. Get in.
But yeah, it's quite tough. Should I captain McGinn? Yeah, absolutely. No, I wouldn't recommend it. I think I am going to be benching him. Although odds on McGinn get some points in the next game week.
You should flex. You should flex and captain McGinn.
McGinn. I should do, really. Raptor lurking in the chat. He's busy. He's probably uploading 10,000 videos.
He was here at the start.
He was. And that's what counts. He's a moderator now, so he doesn't even have to be here. He's made it. I've Madison captain still to play. Madison captain! Ooh. That's exciting. 63 points so far. Actually, should we talk about captaincy?
Sure.
This upcoming game week, you will see my captaincy currently on Salah, which pains me because I love Forest.
Yeah.
But it's a home fixture for Liverpool. Forest will concede goals, and hopefully the goals will come from Salah. That's my thinking on it.
You know this is going to be Haaland when he gets a hat-trick.
See, this is the problem. I don't know whether I'll chicken out. It's when I go through my mini leagues. My mini leagues are the key thing for me for FPL. Overall rank, obviously, I do care about for this and talking about it, but it's the mini leagues that get me. And everyone always captains Haaland. And then, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So I've got it on Salah, but are you going Haaland? I mean, Manchester United aren't looking great.
I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest, Yels. I think I'm probably going to keep it on Haaland.
Play it safe.
I think if I had Watkins, I'd probably captain Watkins. No, do you know what? I'm going to completely change my mind. I'm going to captain whoever I bring in out of Watkins and Saka.
Ooh, that's fun. I'd go Watkins over Saka. Well, I'd transfer in. I'd go Saka over Watkins. But captaincy, I'd go Watkins over Saka. Riddle me that.
I cannot see a world in which Watkins doesn't hit a big haul against Luton at home.
But you know it's going to be Diaby.
Well, at least I've got him.
This is true. Would you sell Haaland for Watkins and get Salah for Bruno? Ooh. The most appealing part of that, I think, is Salah for Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, Salah for Bruno is a no-brainer. I still don't know about selling Haaland. I know the huge hauls haven't been there, but he's not any worse than he was last year. Just because the goals haven't necessarily been there, I still think he's had games like West Ham when he's put up crazily high XG.
I was going to say the XG's still there.
Yeah. I mean, you look at his Brighton. Brighton 0.26. That's not that high. Arsenal was quite poor. Wolves, I mean, the last 3 games, to be fair, have been pretty rubbish.
Yeah. It's so interesting,
I don't
isn't
know.
it, sometimes? Because I've had Haaland just set and forget, not fast. And now you look at it and you think, but... Did you say
Yeah.
one of the dogs? Just... There's some howling
That's
going
my
on.
dog. That's my dog doing
It's
that.
unusual. We know that we're going to have a repeat of Game Week 4 at some point, and the captaincy won't be there, and then that's an extra 20 points gone. It's really hard. And I've got that, is it gambler's fallacy, where because something hasn't happened, you expect it to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, Haaland's a good player. He scored. He's got a goal this week, but the expectation is so high from him. I mean, ownership now, under 90%.
I think if it was for 1 week, you know, if you're talking Haaland to Watkins for 1 week, then that's one thing. But then it's Bournemouth at home, Game Week 11, and then suddenly you haven't got, you know, a player who's probably going to hit close to 40 goals this season again. I can see the logic. I can see the logic of wildcarding and really spreading the money around.
Yeah.
But presumably you're not doing that. because if you're going Haaland to Watkins, you're saving 6 million. And then Bruno's up, I mean, that's 4, isn't it?
I need to sneeze. I'm so sorry. It's going to happen.
Do it.
I'll just talk myself out of it.
I don't know. I'm in 2 minds. I think that the time to sell Haaland was, if you were going to do it, was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it now, personally.
I mean, also, we've got Bournemouth coming up. Home game. That's going to be big. I mean, even...
Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, Villa. I mean, they're tough games.
I know. It's really hard. I think it depends what kind of game you want to play, because like we were saying at the start of the stream, you take out Haaland, but you've got Trippier, you've got Watkins, you've got some really good assets.
It's Manchester United. They're so poor at the moment.
I know. And I was worried about taking out Rashford, and so far that hasn't come back to get me. And I think my midfield's a lot stronger without him. And obviously I've brought in Salah now. With hindsight, I remember doing this is my draft with Salah. How ridiculous is that in pre-season? Now I'm like, you absolutely need Salah.
Isn't it amazing how that's turned out? I mean, everyone was
crazy.
Well, not everyone. I know a lot of people did start with him, but the general consensus was we don't need 2 premiums this season because Haaland's going to be captain every week. And we are sitting in now having a debate whether selling him, you know, to get Salah is the right thing to do.
I think one of the comforts that I have with Haaland though is I know we've just discussed captaincy and at the moment it's on Salah, but you've just got that good backup captain where you don't have to put much thought into it.
But like you said, that's been stressing you out because you've been getting it wrong and it's been going to the other one.
Yeah, it's really hard. We've got Charlie says selling Haaland would be too much of a risk. I think, how many game weeks is it going to take? Say Haaland blanks for the next 4, maybe I'll consider.
I mean, get his fixtures back up. If he blanks against Man U, which I can't see happening, and blanks against Bournemouth, and then you're going into Chelsea, Liverpool, and Spurs. I don't know. Like, I think there's going to be sales for him.
Yeah.
Going into that. Man City are just having their kind of like normal, like kind of first third of the season where they're just not completely right.
Yeah.
But I think we're starting to see glimpses of good things coming. Like they've won again after, you know, losing the last couple of games. Haaland's back on the score sheet. Doku looks really good. Foden I thought was decent without getting the kind of attacking returns. So you've got to think the goals are going to start coming for Haaland. But it is on paper it's a pretty tough run.
Yeah, it is. But then you remember their City and they're insanely good. I like this comment. So well done. 82 points is on Maddison. Sorry, you can't see half of it. Maddison and Adogi. No Haaland working well since the wild card last week. 40 million for not captaining was too much. Get over the fear and have a little fun. I think that's the key bit, and I think that's what you need some more of, some fun.
Yeah, but then Haaland bangs a hat-trick and then it's not fun anymore, is it?
Yeah,
it's
but
fun
you've already
when it
built up the
works.
rank. You're good to go. I don't own Saka or Watkins, who is a priority to get in for next week. I think Saka, personally. But I am saying that as a Watkins owner, and I've taken him for granted this season, and I probably need to appreciate him more.
I mean, a -4, for example, I could do would be something like Ward-Prowse to Saka, Haaland to Watkins, and then someone to Trippier. You know, like the three players that I want and fear, I could effectively bring them all in 1 week with Haaland as the sacrifice.
Yeah. I wanted to answer this. Is Neto's Palmer and Son to Saka good moves this week? I would personally stick with Neto.
Yep.
But I would do Son to Saka, and I am doing that. So again, probably fairly biased.
Yeah.
I think Palmer is really exciting. I really like watching him. I'm really pleased with how he's doing. And we've got a good penalty taker, although there was a bit of a scuffle over who got to take the penalty.
There was.
Obviously, it should be Palmer. Like, he's got a good record. But I wonder if we're overhyping him. And it's similar to when Sterling... I don't have too much faith in Chelsea's consistency. And it's similar to when Sterling got that haul and then everyone brought in assets. I mean, we were saying Jackson. What's happened to him now? First couple of game weeks, everyone was straight on it.
Well, Palmer's happened to him because they finally got a player that can score.
Oh, look who's piped up.
No, here he is.
He's got a tick. Yells, sell Haaland. Yes, as. Oh, I'm a moderator. The power. Ross, you've got a plaque. You've got the tick. And now you're a moderator. It's a big deal.
What a few months Ross has had.
What a few months. Can you rank them in order? I don't know if you were here in the chat, Ross, but I was saying you're the jammiest person. Of course, you take out Haaland, and then he has the worst couple of game weeks. So thank you for that. Some with Gordon or Palmer versus Maddison with Matoma. Interesting. I would say I prefer Gordon over Palmer.
Yeah.
And then Maddison versus Maddison with Matoma. I would say Son with Gordon. But I really like Maddison. I'd say Maddison and Gordon, to be honest.
I'm trying to work this out. Son with Gordon or Palmer versus Maddison with Matoma?
No, so I think it's Son with Gordon or Palmer. So you pick Gordon or Palmer to go with Son.
Yeah.
And then, or Maddison with Matoma.
Yeah, I think Son and Gordon's a pretty good combination.
I think so.
You like Maddison and Gordon, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you save some money.
Matoma's a funny one because the fixtures for Brighton are amazing and we do keep scoring goals.
I need to get up.
I'm just a bit like... When I'm looking at my transfer priorities, I just think a Brighton player just isn't that high.
I'm really worried about your rotation, personally.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's
because
the
fixtures are so nice. I would love to bring in 2 Brighton assets, I'd say. But you've got too much going on. Too busy.
I'll tell you again, and I keep saying this on every bloody stream I'm going, and I'm probably not even going to get him, but Adingra is being underlooked. He's 5 million. He's playing on the right wing. The only competition he had really on the right wing was March, who now they think is going to be out for the end for the season.
Yeah.
So we've got, unless we move someone over...
0.4% ownership. This could be your McGinn.
This could be my McGinn. Yeah, he's tempting. I think
joy.
I think he's quality as well. I think he's a really good player, and he's played 90 minutes in kind of our toughest games so far this season. We got the draw against Liverpool. To be fair, he hasn't been. I mean, look at his XG; it's not crazily high, but he's clearly done enough to win over De Zerbi. And yeah, I think he's also keep your eye on Welbeck's injury as well, because if Welbeck's out, then Ferguson will get more minutes. And he could be an absolute gem.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to bring in Ferguson at the start. We've got Shared Power Ross, Delia and Ross taking over. Jam or skill? Sounds like a skill issue, Ross, honestly. The time I was beating you in FPL this season was a real... I peaked.
Has he overtaken you?
I don't know. Have you? Maybe. My thing won't have updated, will it?
Well, not from today.
67. No!
Overtaken you.
We're drawing.
Drawing?
But it says I'm second now and I was first.
Okay, 77
Ross got
points.
77 this week. I've got 65 and I think we've got the exact same players to go. Ross, do you have Destiny? Yep. Oof.
Yeah, exactly the same points. Wow.
Stressful. stressful times. Yelena, I am 1 point ahead of you. Thank you, Ross. That's going to haunt me now.
Well, you're both thrashing me, so congratulations.
Well, do you want to know something really sad?
Yes.
You and Ross are on identical points, I think, 3 game weeks ago.
That's very upsetting.
And you've got Haaland.
I know.
Make it make sense.
Yeah. Salah captain has been great, isn't it?
Charlie, I think your best 2 transfers for Game Week 10 are Son to Saka, your Luton defender to Simicast.
No, don't even talk to me about Simicast.
So I saw a comment about Simicast earlier and I was like, I can't bring this up. You were hyping him up.
All week I was talking about doing Botman or Colwill to Simicast, and in the end I bottled it. Just because I also wanted Gabriel, and I was weighing up the two, and I thought long term, Arsenal defence is so good. I want to get on that. Sheffield United at home, and it's a great
I
fixture.
do think I long term I prefer going Arsenal.
It's just frustrating when this happened with Gusto, right? I looked at Gusto and thought, he's the reserve. Need to just make sure the system fits him and all that. And it turned out he hit a haul, and I think Simicast has got a haul in him because he is very attacking. The issue is, Simicast came off at 62 minutes.
That was one of your reasons for not going, wasn't it? Minutes risk.
He can be sacrificed when they change system, if they want to tighten things up or if they want to bring another attacker on, because Darwin came on for him. And he has also he's also gone off, I think, twice in his career at 59 minutes.
Ooh.
Which would be brutal if that happens.
I mean, we've got Niall, Simicasta legend.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think if you were brave and you went with him, I think he's a good pick. I basically, if Sheffield United score this week, then it was a disaster. Another disaster to add to the list.
You couldn't make a logbook. We've got Pickle in the chat. He's gone from being 30 points behind me to 1 point. 30 points behind me to 1 point.
It can turn around quick. This is how I'm trying to keep optimistic.
Pickle, that means you're 2 points ahead of me. God, everyone's overtaking.
Good maths there.
How quick was that?
There's a long time to go. Things can change around quickly.
This is the pep talk I was giving you earlier.
I know, but it's true. And you can have 1 week where you gain 30 points on someone, and then suddenly you're back in the mix. So I just feel like it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back for me at the moment. I'm kind of like get a couple of green arrows in a row, and then suddenly it all goes badly. But I just need that one player that just to come in.
Or the captaincy shout.
Or the captain,
exactly.
Nice
captaincy
and this is what you said. Salah captain the last 2 weeks. That is a huge difference. Exactly, huge difference in rank. So
we've got Queen moderator. I'm hoping to get closer in points. Yelena, unfortunately, I'm closer in points to us.
Yeah.
I mean, this time 4 seasons ago, before we even knew each other, that would be me doing badly. Because I didn't finish the season until last season. That was the first season.
This is as comforting a point as you think it is.
I started
You
saying
used to be really good. Now you're crap. Well done.
I started saying in my head, and I was like, "Yep, can't stop now."
No, you're flying at the moment. It's good to see.
See, this is nice. Still 29 game weeks to go. You will be up
Thanks,
there.
Ankit.
Up there in the 10 million. No.
See, this is up there is Ankit's one of our Godfather tier members.
Oh,
legend.
After Salah hauling, I was hoping this would be the week for me to finally recover some rank. Then Watkins happened. Oh, it's so frustrating. I said to you, I was really happy with how my team did this week because if we have a look at my points, my differentials. So and this is one of my key things. I've tried to avoid the template as much as possible, and I love having players in that no one else cares about because it's so much more pleasing. Watkins scoring Salah and Haaland, I was kind of numb to it. I was pleased, but everyone has them, so I wasn't too fussed. But then Gordon, Solanke and McGinn, that is the highlight of my weekend. And it's so nice when you do get these players returning. But then I was like, it hasn't really impacted my rank that much. I think I've got 100,000, I've gone up. But it's because everyone else has done well. So what you need the Haaland and the Watkins and the Salah blanks. Then your differentials can fly you up there. It's really, really frustrating.
I mean, I don't know why you're complaining. You've had a great week and you've gone up in rank. It's just not enough. Never enough for you, is it?
Never enough.
Never enough.
Not until John McGinn gets a hat trick.
I like your team though, because your team has got it's got a touch of your personality in it.
Where you go, what is this?
Well, no, but I mean, they're still good. I mean, McGinn is incredibly questionable, but Solanke, the focal point for Bournemouth, not someone I'd select, but
I would. After the next game week, I won't. Yeah. I've got a very valid question. You'd keep Neto versus Newcastle, even though I have a Newcastle defender. That is beyond how much I think about FPL because excellent. I quite often have players in my own team going against each other. So I suppose, what would you say? Because you're much more, you think, I've got this striker, so I won't.
Let's have a look at Wolves' fixtures. I mean, my instinct again is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Which Neto is that 7 games in a row?
Yeah, I really like Neto. I did a differentials video and he was in there.
I just think for 5.8 million, it's Newcastle home. Okay, that's tough, but then it's straight into Sheffield United away, and then it's Fulham in game week 13. I just don't think he would be a priority transfer for me. You're not going to free up any money by getting rid of him.
No.
I think it was Salah who said about Neto to Palmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't do it. I would just hold Neto. Isn't there anything
wrong?
I
really like Neto, and I think he's an easy bench option. Who else have you got on your team? Do you have to start him? Because you could always just bench him.
Yeah, good shout.
And then Sheffield United away, I'd want him for that fixture. I wouldn't be tempted to transfer him out at all. I'm Team Neto. I really like him.
I think the fixtures, you've got one bad, one good. Literally, Newcastle bad, Sheffield United good, Spurs bad, Fulham good, Arsenal bad, Burnley good. Like if you can rotate him with someone else, like you just said.
That's just reminded me of when we did our tipsy team selection, and I can't remember who it was, but you went bad. Get yourself on the face. I need to do a tipsy team selection. I'm hoping to do one with the Juice pundits in the studio, which will be really fun. So do subscribe to Juice if you haven't already. It wouldn't happen to a better person. Happy for you, Yelena. Thank you, Delia.
That's nice. That's why she's a mod.
And then hopefully we won't talk about Mbumo What a troll.
Oh.
I mean, I've mentioned him. The thing, I haven't had him all season, so...
I have. No points from him. Do you know?
You didn't bring him in.
Do you want to hear my tale of woe with my fifth midfielder?
Right, shall I just get up Brentford and you can show us when you had him?
9 weeks of the season, right? My fifth midfielder, I've not had a single attacking return. Oof. And I've had Richarlison, Mbumo and Ward-Prowse. I bought in Mbumo game week 5. Newcastle, blank. Everton, blank. Forest, blank. Sold him game week 8. Been awful.
Well, this is what you said. Was it Diaby you're planning to sell? And I was like, no, Ward-Prowse. And he's going to haul.
Ward-Prowse has got to go.
The minute he goes.
I know, but he's got Everton at home. It's a really good fixture, but he's got to go. I cannot keep... I know in my heart that Ward-Prowse is not a great FPL pick. And he's right, he probably will haul, but...
He seems so promising.
Yeah.
You've got... I would bench Neto. Depends on your team. Thank you for that, Niall. I think just bench him. I wouldn't transfer him out. It's not a priority. Who should I bring in? Douglas Luiz or Gordon? I think Douglas, personally. I know I've got Gordon.
Ooh, I mean, both...
Can I just say, I love calling players by their first names. It brings me so much joy. My favourite one's Gahey, just Mark.
Douglas Luiz Suarez de Paulo, you have to call him if you want his full name.
Douglas Luiz Suarez de Paulo.
That's very nice. Good accent.
5.4
million, 4%. He's got 5 goals already this season. Luton at home next. Yeah, I'll go for Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, I think it's the better option, and that comes as a Gordon fan. I mean, upcoming fixtures, delightful, delicious, I'd say. And then if we compare that, Arsenal at home, I think it's going to be tough. Chelsea at home, most difficult fixture in the world.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. My comment, why didn't you answer? Where is your comment? Here we go. I've won free transfer and I have... How efficient was that?
That was really good.
I was going to have to...
You're a real pro with these comments, I have to say.
I have one free transfer and all good options. I have all good options except Saka. Do you recommend to sell Son for Saka? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was easy.
There you go. Plonker's in the chat.
Plonker, hello. I did explain to him that you didn't ditch him for the juice night. I just hadn't told you it was going on.
Yeah, I had no idea it was happening, and I was ill, and I still got abused by Plonker and fella. So
you got Plonker abuse too.
You told me he was.
Oh yeah, fuming, absolutely fuming. It's the end of the bromance. That five-a-side team.
Nothing can kill the bromance. Oh yeah, me and Plonker in the five-a-side team.
Have you got any other players yet? So this is another juice thing going on. There is a Christmas five-a-side tournament. Do head over to their Twitter and their YouTube. It will have information on there. But as is the team captain, I love when I saw there was a black box team. I was like, as in Mark on a pitch, but Mark's not.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I would love to have seen Mark on the thing. He should be manager. He could. Actually, he could do a job as manager.
I keep talking about juice. I genuinely love it so much. But the Mark Southerns episode, Mark was on last week. It was so good and so interesting. Mark spoke all about Scout. He answered some questions about whether he'd have as watching him make love.
He did, yeah.
It was a really very
That wasn't really... Okay, again, there's a little bit more context that people need, but you know what?
Let's move on.
Go check out Juice to find out.
Charlie has said, even if you didn't wildcard this week, it was difficult to have a bad team. Don't think there'll be a lot of rank rises this week. Most of the highly owned players returned. I mean, that's going to make us feel even worse.
Thanks, Charlie. Really nice to hear that. Sitting on a massive red and all the players that you mentioned I don't own. So
can we get your team up?
Yeah, go on.
We don't have to.
Go on to leagues and then we're in a league together, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh, leagues and cups. Leagues and cups.
Jason Work League.
I mean, don't even ask about the name. 48. Wait, this isn't...
That's me.
Did you start Bondman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I knew when I bought Gabrielle in, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you've got...
I've got two main issues with this team, and it's Diaby and Ward-Prowse.
I don't think that's an issue though. I think Diaby you can keep.
Diaby I'm keeping. Like, there's no issue.
Even Ward-Prowse, I know he hasn't been.
Ward-Prowse is gone.
Yeah.
Look, his expected assist today of 0.59. I watched that game. I don't remember him getting anywhere near to an assist. Do you?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. My team is okay. It's just they're not getting points, and players like Trippier and Watkins are killing me every week.
I think this is the issue. I think Ellie, who I do a Friday video with, you look at her team, it's so good. There isn't a bad player. She hasn't had to cut any corners, and it's just not delivering. And it's the same with you. That shouldn't be a team that doesn't do well.
Yeah.
I mean, thank goodness you've got Alvarez. That's decent.
Yeah, I mean, I do Maddison to... Basically, my options are Son to Saka, and then I could do Botman to Trippier, or I could do Ward-Prowse to Bowen. My first thoughts were Son to Saka and Ward-Prowse to Bowen. That was my first thoughts. But that means no Trippier or Watkins. If I want to get Watkins, I'm probably going to have to take a hit. So it's going to be Son, Ward-Prowse and Archer out and move things around a little bit there. Or I just keep Ward-Prowse because it is Everton at home. But he's...
You just know, the minute you take out Ward-Prowse...
Yeah.
He's going to...
I'll still hold the transfer. I've got two. I've got to do something.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you brought in Gabriel this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bench Louise for...
Oh, God, Ryan.
Oh.
Why did you bench Ward-Prowse for Louise?
Oh, that's a painful one.
I know that's not helpful in any way.
I was going to say, that's salt in the wound there. No, you have our sympathy with that one. That's really tough. I hate benching. I mean, my benching for the last couple of game weeks, apart from McGinn, but there's no way I would have played McGinn over anyone else. If Son blanks tomorrow and McGinn outscores him, I'm benching Son forever. He's going to be transferred out immediately. But I mean, my benching in recent weeks has been absolutely fine. It's just Matty Cash.
You get really upset by benchings, aren't you? And you get really upset by not captain. Like, say, I think we see things a little bit differently.
Can I just say, I get upset by benching when you've got 17 points on your bench for Matty Cash.
To be fair,
otherwise, I think that's the only benching one where I've gone,
No, but the other thing with that was you were going to play him, and then you didn't.
I was going to play him, and then I did a video with Ellie and Az where they went through my team and told me what to do.
I mean, it was reluctant. He had Burnley, didn't he, or something? It was reluctant, but your other team looks good.
It looks stronger.
I just think when I'm 50-50 between a player and...
I thought you were going to say, when I'm 50 years old...
When I'm 50 years old and I look back at my life... When I'm 50-50 and I play a player and the other one hauls and the one I play does rubbish, I feel awful. Like that's terrible. But if I've played someone and like there was never any chance I was going to play the other person, like and the same with captaincy, like with Hart, I just wasn't going to captain Salah this week.
Because I had my FPL nemesis Andy, my old housemate. He messaged me 10 minutes before the deadline on Saturday morning, and we were going back and forth, Salah or Haaland. Decided for Haaland, mostly because Brighton's defence hasn't looked very strong in recent weeks. And then Salah goes and gets a penalty, which is so annoying because it's luck.
Again.
And then he scores a goal, obviously outscores Haaland. And yeah, last night I was like, why didn't I do that? And you did not care. You were like, it didn't cross my mind.
They don't bother me. I've played the... I mean, don't get me wrong. I still question, okay, why am I not considering Salah? There's clearly something there. Haaland is off the boil. I think you can question it that way. But that's moving forward.
Yeah.
I get annoyed by a lot of things in FPL, but... If I've made a choice and I haven't really wavered on it and it goes wrong, then I kind of stand by the choice.
Yeah.
Which I think I do maybe a little bit better than you, which is the only thing I do better than you, FPL, because you absolutely smashed me with everything else.
I don't know what it is, but I have got a knack of picking the most rogue players and you're like, what are you doing? Like Ben Mee last season. No idea why that kept working. This makes sense. West Ham fan, salt in the wound indeed.
Oh, yeah.
See, this is my thing about, I'd love to bring in Palmer, but I'm nervous. I'm very, very concerned.
Ryan, are you going to be getting Bowen? I mean, it's a good run of fixtures. He looked really good today, I thought. Or are you going to hold Ward-Prowse? Interested to know.
Ooh, should I start Alvarez versus United or play my third striker, Foster versus Bournemouth, or bench Neto and play Foster, Alvarez, Haaland?
Why on earth wouldn't you play Alvarez against United?
I'd definitely bench Neto. I'm enthusiastic about Neto, but not that. I think he's a good bench option as well, so I don't think I'd prioritise him at all. I think United are not doing well.
I mean, check Foster out for Burnley. Because he was the one that got a red card, right? And then he sat out for a bit.
Whoop.
Just know if he's played all the minutes since he come back. Yeah, okay, he has.
Full 90.
Yeah, I'd play Foster over Neto, I think, this week, given that he's got Bournemouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would definitely play Alvarez.
I think it's a no-brainer. 5 million.
I mean, if you have to bench one out of Neto, Foster, Alvarez, and Haaland, I'd bench Neto.
I've had him since the start of this season. Great pick, I reckon.
Is that Ward-Prowse? Well, can you get some points, please, Ryan? if he's a great pick.
Have you got anyone that you've got your eye on for a rogue transfer?
Well, a Jingra.
Yeah.
If I did do the -4 for Watkins, it would be Adingra coming in as like a fifth midfielder.
You, to be fair, you give yourself a hard time, but you had Cole the other week. Suddenly managed to pull that off. That
was lucky.
You had Matoma last season. You were ahead of everyone, which is why he made the wall.
No,
he didn't.
He was gonna make the wall, but then Porro in the final game week.
Ryan was talking
Bowen,
about.
yeah, I think Bowen's a really good pick. See, Bowen excites me. I think if I'm looking for a player to kickstart my season, I feel like Bowen. He just looks so good today. He's just on that kind of run of form. The only thing that puts me off him is it means I'm not going for Watkins. But
yeah.
I think Son and Ward-Prowse to Saka and Bowen. I feel like that's an upgrade. Those two, whereas. Yeah. If I do Saka and Watkins, then I'm going to be going, oh, what about Bowen? Like, there's always going to be players you want, right? Unless you've literally got Trippier, Watkins, Saka, Bowen.
The dream. Can you imagine?
And I think people will be able to build that on a wild card.
I think I gave this as really stupid advice once, but I was like, you can't have everyone, and that's what sometimes when you do your team selection, and someone's like, well, why haven't you got this person? Why haven't you got this person? You're like, oh, as much as I'd love to, because my key targets now are Saka and Trippier. And if that means losing Son, I'm not that fussed. But if that meant losing Watkins, I'd probably.
So could you do Son to Saka and Burns Trippier?
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay. So you'd have to take a hit, and that's why you were talking about
-1.4. But then, I could do Slanky down following game week. So I could do Son to Saka next game week. Following game week, got 2 free transfers. Burn to Trippier, and then just replace.
Trippier's got Arsenal though the week after. You're gonna want to do it, get him in then.
Oh, I want to get him in at some point.
Yeah, true.
Bench him. No, I won't. And then I've got 5 million, the best £5 million midfielder. Duran, done. Who would you recommend? Who's in it?
How much is
Archer? I could go for.
Yeah, how much is Foster? The Burnley player we were just talking about.
5 million.
It's 5 million. Yeah, probably Foster. Burnley main striker.
We've come full circle, guys. Look at this thought process. I love it. Or I think because everyone's got Archer. It's quite. What is his ownership? 8.8%. Okay, everyone in the FPL community has got Archer.
Terribly since he.
You know what? This is one of those spaces because I'd be really happy with this team, and I think I'd have a lot of benching headaches. This is where I'm going to go someone rogue. I don't know who. They probably won't even have minutes. One day they'll come on for a rogue 8 minutes and then they'll get a brace.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do moving forward. But I'm quite happy with that actually.
Yeah.
Because then I can get in Trippier. I mean, you're right about Arsenal, but I mean, Trippier at the moment, the attacking returns, they don't stop.
God,
look at these assists. It's crazy. He got switched on from game week 6.
50% ownership as well. It's like...
Or do I just take a hit and do it all in one game week? Wolves away. I mean, if you had Trippier, you're going to play him every week, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, my other option is just to ignore Saka and Bowen and Watkins and just do Ward-Prowse to basically to Trippier.
I mean, look, Delia's just said Newcastle could win against Arsenal and Trippier could get a lucky assist.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout.
It's not beyond the realms of possibility. I feel quite confident about my team in that case. I thought that was gonna.
I'm glad for you.
Can you imagine? I'm just comparing this to Black Box, where I'm like, here's a plan.
It. Done.
You and Mark have got all your tables.
I think if you go back to your team this week, I just think you've got I just think Son to Saka is your move.
Yeah.
Because you've got Watkins already in place. I think Gordon's a good shout.
Luton at home.
Well, that's it. But then you have to decide what to do with
Then do I go with my head on my heart?
McGinn, Gordon, or Solanke? They're your 3 options. You've got to pick one of them. You can't bench anyone else.
I'd have to play Solanke. The thing is, the Wolves away fixture, I think, that could go. They might be really good defensively. However, sorry?
I was going to see how many viewers you got.
50 when I last checked. But it's Newcastle. They are attacking and they're getting goals. They're doing so well. And I think if Gordon's part of that, I mean, that was the whole reason I brought him in when he was suspended. But I mean, look at his history. I think he's such a good player.
Lovely ownership as well. 6.7. He's still a proper differential. I think he's a great pick. I really do. I really like Gordon. He's someone that when they signed him, I think a lot of question marks were raised because he was okay in spells at Everton, but hadn't really kind of hit the mark. And when you think about the amount of money they've got and their what they're kind of building, but since he started this season, I thought he's been excellent.
Yeah, so. I've been really, really impressed. We've got so I was actually thinking this the other day because I was thinking about your team. Is Alvarez a genuine captaincy shout as much as Haaland now? Because one of the reasons that put me off Alvarez was Pep Roulette, and I made a pact to myself at the start of the season: one City player, it's going to be Haaland. I think I had someone. Have I had a City player this season? I feel like I did.
Only Haaland. I don't think anyone else did.
No. Oh well, I've actually stuck to what I said then. But now looking at Alvarez, he's doing so well. I think he could definitely contend with Haaland.
I've got this bet with Sam, haven't I? The dinner bet. 25 points in it between the end of the season. Basically, Sam thinks that Alvarez is going to basically match Haaland until the end of the season.
Ooh.
So she bet me dinner that there'd be less than 25 points.
We've got a bet. McGinn.
Oh, that's an attacking return, isn't it? I've got to give...
Guys, live announcement. Az has to give to a charity.
I forgot about that.
Oh, if you have a charity that you think Az should donate to, let me know in the comments. We will have a think.
Yeah, first charity that comes up in the comments.
Well, no, because it might be something a bit weird.
Okay, as long as it's not like, I don't know, kill the turtles.
Oh, that would be so sad. Dog fighting.
I can't give them any more money.
No, that's true. Hello, SEO. Are you thinking about captaining inform Watkins? Oh, you are?
Yep. If I brought him in, I'd captain him. If I had Watkins, I'd captain him. No question.
Luton at home. I mean, look at Villa today, 4-1.
They will destroy Luton. I think that's going to be a 4-0, 4 or 5-0.
Guys, it's happening live. The captaincy's going on.
Have I converted you?
That was easy. We've still got 5 days until the deadline, so that could all change. Friday. Oh, actually, also another juice thing. We're doing a live deadline stream on Friday in Greenwood's Bar in Victoria. There's a live audience. You're welcome to come and join in. I think we're going to do some audience interaction. I'll be there. I'm leaving 10 minutes before the deadline because we've got a Halloween party.
But you're hosting.
I know. I've planned this so terribly.
When you told me you were doing this juice thing, I was like, are you joking? We've got like 30 people coming to this Halloween party and you're just not going to be there.
Oh, don't. Okay, fantastic. We have had 2 very good charities.
Yeah, I like that suggestion.
We'll go with those.
I like that suggestion from Delhi.
I'll do a donation because I'm delighted, and then you do the same. So we're going to do Fella's Campaign for Mind. We'll drop him a message and let him know. And then MS Society. I
completely forgot about that bet.
I'm so happy I remembered.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, I just completely forgot. No, I will absolutely donate.
There was controversy because he scored, but it wasn't Premier League. Do you remember?
I don't think that is controversial because I think I clearly said on the stream for every attack he only gets, in the next few game weeks. So.
Oh, fantastic, Delia. I donated there as well when I said I'll give £10 for every goal Luton scored in double game week. Oh, okay, brilliant. So we are donating money to Mind and the MS Society.
Yep. £10 each.
Thanks, McGinn. See how good John McGinn is. Honestly, I'm so happy.
I feel like McGinn has really restored your faith in him because you were wavering on him yesterday.
Oh, obviously he's still benched for next game week, so we haven't restored too much. What is your Halloween costume, Yelena? I'm going as Luigi, the Mario brother. Oh, I think it's a lovely costume idea. But I'm trying to get my friend Maria to go as Toad.
She's not having it, is she? She wants to go with something sexy, doesn't she? We're like, Toad can be sexy. There
are some sexy Toad outfits out there. Even though Dado... Oh, we should probably go soon. We'll wrap it up in 5. Mm-hmm. This has been a great stream, by the way. Thank you so much for everyone that's joined. Thank you for liking it. We've got some charity donations going.
Let me check the likes.
Check the likes. Even though Dado returned for me...
Oh, look at that. 54 watching, 33 likes. Beautiful.
Oh, the dream. If they Dallo return for me this week, 11 points. I'm going to bench him in transfer.
Why has everyone got Dallo? I don't get it.
Deporo or Dogi.
Doing so badly this season.
Other transfer being Son to Saka. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about bringing him in. I was confused. But yeah, would you say Poro or Dogi?
Poro.
Yeah. Is he more expensive than this?
Yeah. It's another thing I regret as well. I know there hasn't actually been anything in it. They both got 6 points as I brought them in. But I think Poro outscores Adogi for the next few weeks comfortably. He's going to get a goal at some point.
Yeah. Okay, we've got 4 minutes left. So if you have any burning questions, let us know. We've got Saka, Watkins, Salah for captaincy next week. What is the order in terms of priority? Ha! I will hit you with Watkins, Salah, Saka.
Watkins top, definitely. I'd say Watkins, Saka, Salah if we're sure Saka's going to start and is definitely fully fit. I guess there's a bit of risk because he's had the injury and Salah's at home. But yeah, for me, Watkins, Saka, Salah.
I feel like the way we answer questions is our thought process with FPL.
Yeah.
Mine's like, transfer, done. Yours is like, ugh.
Job done.
Delia, what was your question?
What question? Oh, there it is.
Oh, would you downgrade Son? Sorry, Delia, I completely missed that. Would you downgrade Son to Maddison to get extra funds to get Watkins or Trippier? Yeah, absolutely. I would. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Son to Maddison, and then that would give you the money to get Watkins or Trippier. Yeah, definitely.
And then I would do Watkins or Trippier is the preference. I think I'd go Watkins.
Yeah.
Because with Trippier, you're going to be mostly reliant on the attacking returns, I think. Clean sheets. I can see Chelsea scoring. I see Arsenal scoring. So yeah, I definitely downgrade Son to Maddison. And then at least you've still got the Spurs coverage as well. Yeah, I completely agree. What is your differential picks for next game week? I will still have Solanke and Gordon playing. McGinn sadly benched, but they will be my two differentials. Have you got differentials in your team?
Not really. I mean, who's my lowest owned player? Well, Ward-Prowse, I'm probably going to sell him.
Yeah, would you consider bringing in Gordon?
Yeah, I like Gordon, I like Adingra, and I like Douglas Luiz. I think they're all low ownership and all around 5 million, so they're pretty easy to get.
Yeah. No, it's good going. Well, I think that has summed everything up nicely.
Hour 7. Done a long one.
We have. I need to, or the simple version. Tell you.
Haaland out for Watkins.
I don't think we can risk it, but
I don't think Son to Maddison is that big a downgrade.
No, I don't.
And then if that gives you the money to get
and
Watkins.
I prefer. I've got Maddison and Son, and I haven't considered making room for Son, to be honest, because I could probably still do my planned transfers because I've got money left over. But I'm just worried about Son. He doesn't look great. He isn't getting the minutes, and Maddison is. So
they get a hat trick tomorrow, and then that'll change everything.
Well, this is the problem with doing early transfer plans, isn't it? That's why I haven't made my transfers yet. Best Arsenal attacker besides Saka, I would say, I think I wanted to bring in Ødegaard, so I'm probably going to stick with that. But I mean, Martinelli's a good shout.
Martinelli, I think, for me.
Jesus always looks so sad.
Yeah.
I love him. He's always looking
It's
so
his eyebrows,
upset.
isn't it? They're very, inverted
And
down.
when something actually goes wrong and he has a sad face, it's even more.
When he gets fouled, he's lying on the floor. It's like, he's like an emoji.
Oh, I feel so awful for him. Final question. Oh, and Delia's just answered. That's a tough one. Martinelli hasn't been as great as we hoped. Yeah, I think Ødegaard's my choice for that one. And then final question. Brighton, when is Estupiñán back?
Well, I'm hoping he's back this week for the European game. Ooh. That's when De Zerbi said he might be. I think he said around a month, and that was around a month ago. If he's not back for Europe, then he won't be back at the weekend. So it'll probably be the week after.
Yeah. Well, that is wrapped up. I feel like we covered quite a lot, and it was good to talk ideas because I didn't realise in the next 2 game weeks I can get my team as I actually want it and keep Solanke for his fixtures and things like that.
I love it. And keep Solanke.
Just for this one game week. One game week, my punt. Obviously, still concerned about McGinn, but we will work through that in the next couple of days. I'm sure there's going to be tons of people that have the same issue. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Az for joining, as always. There will be a point where I will be able to do this on my own. But if you just see me...
You can do it on your own. You did it on your own with Ellie.
Yeah, this is true. But if you saw me 5 minutes before today's stream, things...
That's fair.
not looking too strong. But we made it. So thank you so much for joining. We will make our donations to the MS Society